Hello everyone, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Keisha and today I'm going to be talking about all of the books that I hope to read in the month of March. March is always a super exciting month for me, and this month it's even more exciting because not only is middle grade March happening, but I also have a graphic novel readathon that I'm co-hosting with some friends, and I'm also going to be part of a fantasy book club as well this month. So let's just go ahead and jump into all the books I plan to read. First, I want to talk about the fantasy book club that I'm going to be helping co-host this month. So this is A Court of Fables, and this was created by my friend Jordan from Bookish Gem, and I'm going to be co-hosting the book for this month for the book club along with Elizabeth from Ponytails and Paperbacks and Rachel from Happy Go Lovely Sleeves. And I'm so excited because this book in particular has been on my shelves for so long. It is a BookTube darling. It is a book that so many people have read and loved. It is a book that has been so hyped up and one that I've been really anxious to read, and that is Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. Again, I have had this on my shelves basically since before I even started my YouTube channel. This is a young adult fantasy novel and it follows our main character. Her name is Elizabeth. And oh, that's so funny because Elizabeth's co-hosting. So Elizabeth, you're in the book. But this follows Elizabeth and she really wants to be this warden over these grimoires, which are these books that if provoked can turn into monsters. I think that's a really cool concept in and of itself. But something happens and these books end up getting out, or the monsters get out. Elizabeth is blamed for it now. And I think she has to team up with her nemesis, who is a sorcerer. His name is Nathaniel, in order to figure out what's going on and how to save this library. It sounds really awesome. I love the whole magical library grimoire part of this. And I don't read a lot of fantasy, so I don't know if I'm gonna like it. But if I love any fantasy book, I feel like it'll be this one. I will go ahead and leave the information for the Court of Fables March book pick down below, as far as when we're gonna do our reading sprints, as well as when we're going to be discussing this book. Next, I want to talk about the books I'll be reading for the Let's Get Graphic Readathon. This is a readathon hosted by my friend Gwen from Gwendolyn Kinsinger here on YouTube and Lavender Mud over on Instagram. So Gwen asked myself as well as Elizabeth from Ponytails and Paperbacks to co-host this readathon with her. And basically we're just going to be reading a bunch of graphic novels, manga, and comics for 24 hours. So this is going to take place from March 3rd on a Friday to March 4th on a Saturday. We do have some reading prompts and photo prompts as well. I'll go ahead and link my announcement video down below in case you're interested in all of the different things we're planning to do. But I'll go through the prompts and what I plan to read for each of those first. One of the prompts is to read a book with an animal on the cover, in the title, or in the story. And for that one, I'm going to be reading Song of the Court by Katie Farina. And this is the author that wrote the Babysitters Club Little Sisters graphic novels, or she was one of those featured authors. I'm really excited about this one because I've never seen it before, and this cover just really drew me in. The illustrations are so stinking cute. And I've never heard anybody talk about this, like I said. So I found it when I was book shopping one day, and it says, "When I play music, I feel like I'm finally making something beautiful all on my own. This charming fairy tale told in graphic novel style is about two unlikely friends who encourage each other to pursue their dreams." Does that not just sound like the cutest story ever? Then another prompt is to read a book with one word in the title, and for that one, I'm going to be reading Unfamiliar by Haley Newsome. This is about a cute little kitchen witch, and I love the art style in this. It's very unique from what I typically see, so I'm really excited to jump into this one. It says, "Meet Planchette, a lonely young kitchen witch. She has high hopes for her new home, a place where she can finally be herself and maybe even make friends. However, her house is haunted and she can't seem to get rid of these ghosts, so she ends up befriending a cursed girl, an introverted siren, and the worst witch in town. And together they struggle to put these spirits to rest and find their own sense of belonging." Again, looks and sounds super cute. Before I move on to the next prompt, I did forget to mention this one is YA and this one is middle grade. So for the next prompt, you are to read a book with your favorite color palette. So for me, I really like fall colors like mustard yellow, burnt orange, burgundy, olive green, forest green, turquoise teal, those kind of things. So I have a couple books here. This one is My Aunt is a Monster by Romana Yee. This is a middle grade. Again, I really like the art style in this one. This is the same author that wrote Seance Tea Party, which I really loved. And there went my note from Gwen, who bought this for me. for the readathon, and so I'm going to be reading it. And this one is about this girl named Safia, and Safia is blonde, and she is going to live with her aunt, who is apparently a monster. And this story sounds so cute. It's about discovering who you are and realizing what you're capable of when you have the right people behind you, and I just feel like it's gonna be a really good one. Then I also have Over My Dead Body by Sweeney Boo. This is a young adult fantasy witchy graphic novel, and it follows our main character who is at this institute for witches. Again, I really like the color palette in this one. I think there's going to be a little bit of a murder mystery element to it as well, and I'm really excited to check this one out. I do have a couple more graphic novels I hope to get to. So one of them is Swim Team by Johnny Christmas. This one, again, I really like the artwork in, and this is a contemporary middle grade story about our main character. Her name is Bree. She has just gone to a new school, and at this new school, she has to take Swim 101, but she does not know how to swim. So she has an elderly neighbor who used to be on the swim team or used to coach swim, and now she's teaching her how to swim. And it turns out Bree actually may be getting recruited to help her school's swim team beat the championship, like to help them out because they haven't been doing too hot. So again, I don't read a lot of contemporary, but I feel like this might be a really good one. And the last graphic novel I plan to read for the readathon is The Sprite and the Gardener by Ria Brego and Joe Witt. This looks so cute. I mean, they all look so cute. They all have the best artwork. I love, as a creative, like look at that. As a creative, I just love illustrations and anything artsy fartsy. That's me. So this one is about a sprite and a gardener. Basically, that's all I know. I know that sprites used to kind of tend gardens, and now people do, and sprites are hard to come by, or maybe even possibly extinct. I don't even know. But one day this gardener runs upon this sprite and they work together to garden. And I'm just really excited to read this one because again, oh my gosh, I just noticed she's like here on the back, and here's the gardener. So cute. So obviously I love me some graphic novels, and I'm very excited for this readathon. Okay, next I'm gonna get into my middle grade March reads. Middle Grade March is a readathon hosted by Krista from Books and Jams, Amanda from The Curly Reader, and Katie from Life Between Words. And this year they also have a new girl coming in called Jenna. I think her channel is Jenna Reads and Writes, or her Instagram is, and she's helping run their Middle Grade March Instagram page. But I love this readathon. You can read one middle grade book and participate, but they do have some prompts, and I'm so excited to be involved again this year. I've been participating ever since I heard about it, so probably like 3 years at least ago, and it is one of my favorite things ever. So there are some prompts for this as well, and I don't have all of these with me. I'm gonna go ahead and start with the one that I don't have just yet. It is coming in the mail next week, and I'm so excited because the author actually reached out to send it to me, and this is going to be for the sci-fi dystopian prompt, and this book is called Please Return to the Lands of Luxury by John Tilton. So this book follows our main character, Jane, and Jane lives on this island of garbage. And this is all that she's ever known. She has this past that's a little bit foggy, so there could be some hidden things there. But for the most part, this island is all she's known. The island is also guarded by these sinister robots. So one day when she's digging through the trash piles and finds this doll that belongs to someone named Gloria Thatcher, she wants to return this doll, but she can't get off the island. So she is trying to find safe passage to the lands of luxury in order to return this doll that she thinks didn't intend to end up at the garbage dump. This story is supposed to be about the importance of hardships as well as sharing your story with life's greatest treasures, your friends and family. The next prompt is to read a book that was published in the last year. So I have the second book in the Katie the Cat Sitter series. This is Katie the Cat Sitter, Best Friends Forever by Colleen A.F. Venable and Stephanie Yu. I do have the first book down here as well. So if you haven't read this one, I highly recommend checking this one out before the second one. But I'll go ahead and tell what the first one's about since I don't want to spoil this one. So it's about Katie, and Katie is not so excited for summer because she really wants to go to summer camp with her friends, but she can't afford the camp. So she ends up cat sitting 217 cats. Not one, not three, not 10. 217 cats this girl sits for. And all the cats have these different personalities and special things about them. And while all of this is going on, there is also this kind of vigilante situation going on in the town where it's like, is this a villain? Is this a hero? It seems to be a villain, but they might be doing good things too. And Katie is trying to unravel that. This is a really good series with really great messages. So I'm really excited to continue in the series and reading the second one. The next prompt is to read a book that is not a Newbery Award winner. So in the past, they have done Newbery Award winners. This year, they wanted to just do an award-winning book in general. And Nevermore by Jessica Townsend definitely has like 10 to 20 awards. I can't even list them all, but this is a very like well-known, well-loved series that I still have not gotten into. I did start this. This one is The Trials of Morgan Crow. It's book 1 in the series, but I didn't finish it. I was loving it. It really reminded me of like Harry Potter and Alice in Wonderland, which is again what a lot of people say, but especially in the beginning of this one, I was really getting like Harry and Hagrid vibes from something that was happening, and I really, really liked that. So this is about a girl named Morgan. She was born on Eventide, which is the unluckiest day for any child to be born. She's blamed for all local misfortunes, and worst of all, the curse dooms her to die at midnight on her 11th birthday. But then this man named Jupiter North appears and whisks her away to a secret magical city called Nevermore, and she is being like potentially inducted into the most prestigious organization, the Wondrous Society. So Morgan has to compete in these 4 dangerous trials against hundreds of other children, or she'll have to confront her deathly fate. I'm actually planning to read this one with my friend Hope from Hope on the Coast. I am so glad that there's someone else out there that has not read this one yet, because I feel like it's going to be a really good buddy read. Another one of the prompts is to read a book with a sea or sky on the cover, and I am hitting the nail on the head and not only doing one with the sky on the cover and a river which connects to the sea, so it counts, but this one is called When Sea Becomes Sky, so it's in the title, and it's by Gillian McDunn. I did receive an advanced reader copy from Lily from Bloomsbury, so thank you so much, Lily, for sending this my way. I'm very excited to read this. I don't read a lot of contemporary middle grade, but this one sounds so good. So this one says that it's inspired by the author's own relationship with her brother and her own experience with loss. When Sea Becomes Sky is the story of Bex and her brother Davy and their summer on Pelican Island. This summer is different. Bex is a writer, but she can't write, and Davy has mostly stopped talking. But when the siblings discover a mysterious underwater statue, their plans for the summer take shape. They're going to solve the mystery of why it's there. But their investigation brings some answers that Bex isn't ready to face. This is a short and powerful read about a lot of things, but mostly about the summer between your childhood and everything that comes after. It really feels like that first book you read as a kid that made you cry, that kind of taught you empathy without you even realizing it. That is all I want to say about this one. I'm so excited to go into this one. I think it's probably going to tug at my heartstrings and potentially be a new favorite middle grade. And the last one to fill the prompts is a little bit of a stretch, so please don't come at me. I just really want to read these books. So you might can see over here on my TBR card, I do have these series of unfortunate events, and I want to read all 13 of these books in March. Not only that, but I want to watch the Netflix adaptation with Neil Patrick Harris, which I have seen before, but I think there are like 2 episodes for each of the 13 books, except the last one just has 1. And I really want to rewatch them as I read the books. And I have read the first maybe like 4 or 5 books in the series when I was in middle school, but I really want to revisit them as an adult. So I've been collecting them over the last few years. And now that I have them all, it's time to read them. So I'm going to use this, again, this is a stretch, for the neurodivergent prompt. It's to read a book with a neurodivergent character, and I honestly haven't read a ton of books with neurodivergent characters. I have read some, and I did put one in my recommendations video, which I will link down below for middle grade books if you're interested. But I just haven't read a lot of them, and I don't know of a lot that I want to read because, again, I don't like to read a lot of contemporary middle grade. If they're in spooky or maybe historical fiction, I'm more likely to gravitate towards those. But I have heard that the Baudelaires in the series of unfortunate events have some neurodiverse potential like things about them, like with Violet and how she plays with her hair a lot. That could be ADHD, and just in general, like how intelligent these kids are, and like their little tics and stuff. So there's potential for that. It is speculated, but I don't think that the author has actually come out and said it. So again, that may be a little bit of a stretch, but I just want to fill the prompt and also read all these books. I'm not one that is going to run out and buy a bunch of new books just to fill prompts. So like I said, I'm just trying to kind of go with what I have on my shelves. I do have one more book that I want to try to read for middle grade March, and this one is Return to the Secret Garden by Holly Webb. I love The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett, and so I'm really excited to read this one, even though I know it's not by the same author. I just love that story, and I really loved reading different adaptations and reimaginings of it. And this one is supposed to be a continuation. It says, it's 1939, and a group of children have been evacuated to Misselthwaite Manor. Amy is far from happy to have been separated from her cat and sent to a huge old mansion. But soon she starts discovering the mysteries of the house. A boy crying at night, a diary written by a girl named Mary, and a garden, a very secret garden. I'm so excited to go back into this world, and I hope this is a good book. I do have a little bit high expectations for it, even though I probably shouldn't, but I really want to love this one. Now, with all of these books being said, these are the ones that I am primarily trying to read this month. However, I'm in a very mood reader type mood. So I do have a stack of 5 books, which one of them I don't have, that I kind of am in the mood to read if I can fill them in around these. So we'll just have to see. One of them I already started reading in February. I just haven't finished yet. It's called My Phony Valentine by Courtney Walsh. I am obsessed with Courtney Walsh. She writes some of the best, cleanest romances that I've ever read that make me laugh. They're very swoon-worthy. And this one is a chance meeting, a hunky hockey player, a fake romance, hardly an ordinary day in the life of Poppy Hart, who is a baker. This started out like in the first 6 pages, I was laughing. It is so stinking cute. I don't want to know much more. I don't want to read the whole synopsis to you. If any of this sounds interesting, if you like sports romance, if you like bakers, if you like fake dating, if you like all the things, clean romances and banter and all that fun stuff, definitely check this one out. I'm very excited to continue it soon. Speaking of romance, I'm also in the mood to read a book that is very opposite from the clean romance that I typically read. I don't know what it is that's drawing me towards it other than the cover and then just hearing a lot of hype about it. But there's a trilogy that is like the Billionaire series. The first one is The Fine Print. I think it's by Lauren Asher. And I really want to read this one. I don't know a lot about it other than it follows 3 billionaire brothers, and the first one follows one of the brothers, and it's kind of like a Disney World situation. Like he owns this theme park that is like Disney World, but it's called Dreamland, and this one has a romance in it. I don't even remember what the trope is in this one, but I really want to read this series, and I don't know if I'm going to like it or not because I'm not a girl who really likes a lot of steam or smut, but this one definitely has that. So I'm going to try and see, but I don't even have the book. So unless I get the book, I probably won't be reading it this month, but I am very much in the mood to read that book for some reason. I also really want to continue in my cozy era by reading On Spine of Death by Tamara Berry. This author so kindly sent me this copy and signed it because I loved the first book, Buried in a Good Book, so much. That is my favorite cozy mystery of all time and one of my favorite books that I've read this year so far. So I'm very excited to read On Spine of Death. The first book is basically about this woman named Tess, and Tess has taken her daughter to this cabin. It's set in Washington, and now I can't remember where the town is, but it's that little western town in Washington. And she goes there, it's her grandfather's old cabin, and when she goes in, she's like cracking jokes about, oh, there's probably like 5 dead bodies in here. Well, she's cracking jokes, and then all of a sudden there's like this big boom, and the sky is raining fish and also an arm. So there's this mystery that ensues. Tess is also a thriller writer, and one of the characters in her book is a detective that looks really like a lot like the detective that she's working with to try to sleuth and solve this case. And yeah, it's a great book. I'm not selling it super well right now because it's been a while since I've read it, but it's got like Bigfoot sightings, really great banter between the detective and Tess. I laughed so much in it. The writing is really great and easy, very modern, and I really liked the twist ending. I didn't see it coming. It was just so good. So I highly recommend this series. I also kind of feel like reading a little bit more like moody books that are also kind of thrillery or horror. So this one is We Spread by Ian Reid. I really enjoyed I'm Thinking of Ending Things by this author, and I've heard nothing but good things about We Spread. This story centers around a woman with Alzheimer's, and she is admitted to this facility to kind of help her out. And it's kind of figuring out what's going on as far as, is this her mind doing things? Are people doing things in this facility that are affecting her? I'm not really sure what it's about, but it is a little bit shorter of a book. There's lots of white space, and I really want to read it soon. So this is on my mood read list. And then I didn't get to Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone by Benjamin Stevenson last month. I was supposed to buddy read this with my friend Elizabeth, and she read it super fast at the beginning of the month and really enjoyed it. So I do want to get to this one. It's basically about a man who has killed someone, as well as everybody in his family has killed someone, and that's all I want to know about it. It's a murder mystery. And I think I've heard people say it's a little bit slow paced at the beginning, and there's kind of a lot to keep up with, but you don't really need to. Like, it's a good story and it has a good ending. So I'm very excited to get to this one hopefully soon. And that is going to be all of the books that I hope to read in the month of March. Again, I have a very ambitious TBR. I'm probably not going to get to all of these books, but I am excited to participate in Middle Grade March and the Let's Get Graphic Readathon, as well as the Court of Fables book club. If you made it this far in the video, go ahead and leave me a sparkle emoji down below. And if you want to tell me what book you're most excited to read in March, do that as well. But thank you as always for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, friends.